Eh bien salut tout le monde et bienvenue dans cette nouvelle vidéo pour Dangerous et aujourd'hui nous allons parler de Génération Ship. Donc dans cette vidéo vous allez avoir les logs des 7 Génération Ship présents dans les Dangerous. Vous aurez les logs audio en anglais, vous aurez les logs écrits en français simultanément et par-dessus tout ça je vous ferai un montage des différents plans des différents Génération Ship le cas échéant. À la même manière que j'avais fait pour le Zurara, voilà. Dans la description, vous aurez un Google Doc qui référence les 7 générations de chips, leur nom, leur emplacement et comment on les trouve. Parce qu'on est censé les trouver avec des postes d'écoute, donc vous aurez tout ça dans le Google Doc. Autre petite chose, donc certains vaisseaux générationnels sont plus anciens que d'autres. Il y a un cas un petit peu spécial comme le Venusian par exemple, c'est un des générations de chips. Lui il connaît l'existence du FSD. Les précédents générations de chips sont partis, le FSD n'existait pas. Celui-ci est parti au moment où le FSD était dans ses balbutiements. Voilà. Donc le Venusian il est beaucoup plus récent que les autres. Donc c'est pour que vous compreniez un petit peu les logs que vous lirez juste après. Donc ça sera le 3e vaisseau. Donc voilà, c'était un petit avertissement qu'il fallait que je vous donne avant pour que vous puissiez bien comprendre ce que vous êtes en train de lire et entendre. Voilà, sinon on va parler vite fait des générations de chips. Qu'est-ce qu'un génération de chips, vous l'avez compris, tout est dans le titre en fait. C'est un vaisseau qui va permettre à plusieurs générations d'êtres humains de survivre dans le vide spatial pour aller coloniser un monde habitable. Le problème c'est que sans FSD, les distances sont faramineuses, ce qui fait qu'il faut énormément de temps pour les parcourir. Un temps qui dépasse de loin l'espérance de vie humaine. C'est pour ça qu'en fait, les gens qui embarquent vont avoir des enfants, ces enfants vont avoir des enfants, etc., etc., vous avez compris. Et ceux qui vont débarquer seront les petits-enfants des petits-enfants, etc., etc. Donc la dernière génération, ce sera en fait la descendance des premiers qui sont partis. C'est un moyen de perpétrer en fait l'héritage génétique jusqu'au monde à coloniser. Voilà, donc j'espère en tout cas que cette vidéo vous plaira. Je vous souhaite à tous et à tous une excellente journée ou soirée. Et je vous dis à la prochaine pour les Dangerous. Allez, portez-vous bien. Ciao.
Order! Order! I will have order in the house. It is decided then. The mission is changed. We, the elected council of the Odysseus, decree that all members of the crew remain on board, and all resources for the ill-conceived planetary colonization mission are to be reallocated to enable the Odysseus to sustain us. Order! Order! Any and all attempts to leave the ship, question the council, or otherwise reinstate the previous mission parameters, is to be considered a capital offense. For the greater good.
Why would we leave the safety of our ship for the unknown of an alien world? We have everything we need here. No one goes without. We have sustainable food, water, medical supplies and power sources for all on board. This is our Eden, not some dust ball hurtling through the vacuum of space. It makes no sense to leave. Besides, we have no idea what we would find on these worlds. If we'd survive, if we'd be able to find food or water, there could be anything out there. The ship's council makes the law, and they were right all those years ago. That's why we elected them after all. The Odysseus is our home, and this is where we stay, for the greater good.
It's been years since we've dealt with something like this, and to be honest, I'm not sure we can cope anymore. Sickness has taken hold. We detected it too late. By the time we knew what it was, half the ship was infected. Rings A and C are no-go areas, even for medical staff. Council orders. So many areas are quarantined off now. We're cut off from some of the ship's key systems. We should have been better prepared. It's not the first outbreak we've had. Back in my dad's day, an epidemic flooded the ship after a meteor storm. There were riots and people getting sick, but we got through it. We rebuilt the farms, people got medicine and recovered. This is different. The council has initiated martial law. The ship's under curfew, and anyone found to be infected is locked up in the quarantine zones. They say it's for the greater good. I don't know anymore. I can't think straight. If the sickness killing us all wasn't bad enough, the council just gave the order. Someone flicked a switch and they vented it all. Ring A, C, the med bays, the holding bays, all of it. Anywhere there was a sign of infection, hundreds of people sucked out into space. Hundreds more suffocated with no air. For the greater good. We were raised to believe that the will of the council is absolute. They govern, they rule for all of us. But this? There's talk of a movement to remove the council. They want to get off the ship to leave at the next habitable world. After all these years, none of us have any memory of anything but the Odysseus. It's a dream. We wouldn't know what to do if we got planet-side. I'm 5th generation. All I know is the ship, the council, the laws. And I know that going down to an unknown planet would likely be the death of us all. Besides, it will never happen. The council won't allow it. There is only one way off this ship.
They thought they had eradicated it. We all thought they had. We fought for the greater good. We existed here for the greater good. We mourned the lost ones for the greater good. Council made peace for the greater good. We exist. We remember. We mourn. All for the greater good. 20 years we have existed. But you can't kill this. It hides. It retreats and mutates and comes at you again. The same, but different. Stronger, more deadly. Now there is nothing left. No people, no council, no laws. Only the sickness. I record this as a warning. Do not board this ship. It is dead. Mourn those lost and remember, but do not set foot on board this ship. For the greater good, greater good, greater good, greater good.
Still all quiet out here in the black. Just had our very first 9th gen child born on ship. That takes the current population to 17,401. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary. Apart from reports from some residents at the northern end of C deck. They've heard some kind of strange whispering sound coming from their apartment comms unit. I'm sure it's nothing, but I've dispatched a member of tech to investigate. We have an emergency situation on board. Some kind of epidemic. It's driving people insane. I've managed to source it to a digital signal that keeps broadcasting within the comms array. It started on C deck, but now the entire population of decks C to F have been massacred. They just went crazy and started killing each other. I've isolated the signal, so it's stopped for now. Just trying to identify the source. It should be easy enough to delete the beacon if I can find the right frequency. I want to know what the message says, but I'm just too scared to listen. I've done it. I've managed to decrypt the signal and identify the source, but it's even more confusing than I thought. The signal originates from an uninhabited planet we passed 15 light years ago. Who sent it and how it managed to infect the comms array, I have no idea. That's the good news. The bad news is I heard the message. I was trying to run it through the translator and I forgot the speaker was on. It's the same message relayed again and again and again. It's more a whisper than anything else. It says, kill them all. Blood. Blood everywhere. It's spread on the walls. People have started writing words in it, but it's a script I can't identify. I'm alone now on the comms deck. Pearson was the last one with me, but I had to stab him in the throat to stop him. Stop him. I can't remember what I had to stop him doing, but he's dead now. I can hear people out there. Some of them are still walking around. Some of them are barely breathing. I have to find them. I have to silence them. I have to...
This is Officer Gant. I know I haven't made many of these logs, haven't needed to, but recent events mean I have to open a record. The Venusian has been traveling for months now without incident, other than the usual canteen disputes and a couple of bar fights. Recently, though, sensors have picked up a number of heat signals, though no sign of any actual ships. That is, until today. 2 small ships of unknown designation were briefly caught on sensors until they initiated supercruise and disappeared. We don't know where they've come from or where they've gone, and attempts to hail them were met with silence. The XO Deacon thinks it's nothing to worry about, but I've got to admit I'm nervous. Anyway, we're keeping an eye out and the comms team are on high alert. Maybe it's nothing. They came out of a gas nebula, a pirate fleet, all manner of ships, and some of them highly modified. Every single one was red, though. Blood red. Our auto defenses were useless, and raiders breached the hull with mining lasers. By the time they got inside, I'd managed to rustle up a decent defense force, but we couldn't stop them spreading through the decks. The fighting was fierce at first, and we put up a good resistance, but when the best of our crew were cut down, there was nothing the rest of us could do. All I could do was initiate a rearguard action while we tried to save as many people as we could. Deacon managed to rally some troops, and we pushed them back long enough to retreat to aft. Not sure how much longer we're gonna last. Deacon keeps talking about a parlay, but these are pirates on a slave hunt. They won't stop until we're all dead or in chains. Frankly, I'd take death over slavery any day. I'm down to my last dozen men and about the same in cells for my carbine. I've got around 100 civilians relying on us, and we'll fight till the last man to defend them. Deacon's disappeared. Either fled or captured, I don't know which. I can only hope he managed to escape somehow and has gone to get help from somewhere. Anywhere. I know, I'm kidding myself. We're done. It's just a matter of time before they breach our defenses. No matter. I'll fight till the last. They won't take me alive.
Our barricade's been breached! We're under heavy fire, it won't be long! Deacon! It was Deacon who did this! He showed the pirates how to breach our defenses, gave them access to the maintenance tunnels. They'd never have found them without Deacon's help. Caught in a hail! If I can manage to return fire long enough, maybe I can get a bead on Deacon. Just one shot is all I need to take out that son of a...
Our voyage continues apace. All systems fully operational. We had some issues with the hydroponics units, but maintenance has managed to solve that problem. The only other thing to report is the religious fervor that seems to be gripping some sections of crew and passengers. Apparently, there's this boy. I think he's around 10 or something, and people are heralding him as the second coming. There's a rumor he can perform miracles, but it's obviously only a story. Commander Jefferson wasn't too impressed when he heard, but I managed to calm him down. Told him it was good for people to have something to believe in, especially on a voyage like this one. The situation is becoming critical. Support for the child, they're just calling him Zachariah, has developed into some sort of mass hysteria. They're hailing him as a kind of messiah. Over half the ship's population now thinks this boy is going to deliver them to the promised land. Jefferson has tried talking to his acolytes, but they no longer recognize the commander as the main authority figure on the ship. It wouldn't be so bad, but there are whispers of weird ceremonies, and people have started to go missing. I don't know what Jefferson's next move is, but he needs to do it quick if we're going to regain order. We have an emergency situation. Commander Jefferson is... he's dead. They killed him. An offering, they called it. He went with a security team to break up one of their gatherings and take Zachariah into custody when they just turned on him. The kid refused to go and ordered the security team to throw Jefferson out of the airlock. I can't believe they did it. It's like he has some kind of power. I've never seen anything like it. There's only me and a few others who don't follow him now, but it's safer if we just go along with these religious fanatics until they find their promised land and I can ditch them. I don't want to be the next one getting vented. I don't have much time. He's gonna kill everyone, and I have to stop him. Turns out, Zachariah's promised land isn't a fertile planet. It's the cold vacuum of space. He intends to open up every airlock on the ship and vent all the corridors and containment units. He just proclaimed it to the entire ship in that little voice of his. Everyone seems to be going along with it, thinking it'll take them to a higher plane or some garbage. Am I the only one here still sane? Because it sure feels like it. I have to stop him. I got a loaded carbine, and I'm not going to let anyone get in my way. I just hope I'm in time.
Automated systems message. System report. Life support. Command requested at 0943. Manual override granted on all airlocks. Forward ship purge initiated at 0952. Purge complete. Purge complete. Purge complete. Purge complete.
Decisions log 2379/2. Nothing out of the ordinary to report. Minor injuries, aches, and pains from the more vulnerable crew members and the usual bout of influenza you'd expect with so many people living in such close confines. It seems the current strain of influenza is becoming resistant to the vaccines we've developed on board. Only thing of note was a minor injury to one of the survey team. Gottlieb sustained a minor laceration. He was taking a mineral sample on a nearby asteroid. The suit got braids, but he managed to apply an emergency seal before anything serious happened. I only hope the sample he took was worth the scar it's gonna leave. Decisions log 2387/8. We have an emergency. The strain of influenza infecting the ship has become completely resistant to any vaccines or treatment we can find. 13% of the ship's population has now succumbed to the infection, and so far 8 have died. I've initiated emergency measures on quarantining the infected. The epidemiologist, Dr. Monroe, is working around the clock to find a solution. I'm sure she'll come up with a cure before long. Physician's log 2463/5. Dr. Monroe made a discovery that has filled me with dread. This contagion doesn't derive from the influenza epidemic. It's altogether more alien than that. The contaminant has no human origin. It comes from Gottlieb, the scientist who was injured a few days ago. Whatever mineral he was taking a sample of must have got into his blood. It's mutated into some kind of virulent pathogen. Monroe is unable to isolate the microorganism that's causing it. It spreads fast. Quarantine hasn't worked and people are starting to panic. We're doing our best to come up with a counteragent, but I'm not sure we have the resources. Precision's log 2499/9. We are lost. Monroe died 2 days ago, and any chance we had of finding a cure for this epidemic died with her. Half the ship's population is already dead, and 98% of those remaining are infected. Teams are working around the clock to vent the bodies into space, but they're piling up so quickly. The riots haven't helped. People are panicking, angry, don't know what to do. When you see your family die, I guess you just get desperate. I don't know what to do. Suppose I should do my job, but it's no use. At least I've avoided an infection. For now. Physician's log 2501/7. I knew I wasn't going to avoid contracting this thing forever. I'm one of the last. This place is so quiet now. Used to teem with life, and now there's just silence along the empty corridors. I should probably go for one last walk. While I still can.
I've researched some statistics, and there could be a problem. Over the past 3 months, 75% of pregnancies have provided a male fetus. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about right now, although I'm starting to think my predecessor made a mistake, not bringing any medical equipment that could manipulate gender at the embryonic stage. I mean, I can understand the ethics behind it, but this has left us hanging a little bit. Especially now we're in this situation. I can only hope it evens itself out. Situation is now critical. We've had no female newborns for the past 9 months, and all recent pregnancies have produced male fetuses. I'm currently looking into the problem, and it would appear that none of the ship's complement are producing male gametes, with the XX chromosome. That means that even if we could artificially inseminate with a sample, we still wouldn't produce any zygotes with the potential to form a female embryo. I have no idea how to solve this, as we have no stock with both XX and XY samples on the ship. Another mistake my predecessor made. If I can find out the cause of this anomaly, hopefully it will lead me to a solution. We have time to fix this, and I'm not panicking yet, but this has the potential to be disastrous to the success of our mission. After all these years, I finally have to come to terms with the fact that we're never going to find a solution to this problem. The last member of the ship's complement of childbearing age has now had a boy. She was 69. If I could find a solution, even if I applied the stims and gene therapy that allowed any of them to carry a child, none of the women aboard ship would reach full term anyway. This will be my last entry. The men aboard are preparing to evacuate. They know the mission is doomed, and don't want to die here. I don't blame them. I could still go with them, but I've refused the offer. I failed this ship, and everyone aboard. It's only right that I die with the mission. Good luck to them.
captain told the crew the bad news. They've known for months now, but until today it's been on a need-to-know basis. Now it's out there. We can't stop the ship. I remember telling the captain about the fault, a manufacturing issue that no one else had detected. I felt responsible. After all, I'm the ship's engineer. Like my father and his father before him. All he said was, "We'll fix it." Now months on, we're nearing our destination and no closer to finding a solution. But in lieu of a fix, I believe I have an alternative. After all the debates, all the meetings and the arguing, the ship's council has finally approved the plan. So we're all systems go. We're rigging the emergency pods and the life ships to carry as much useful equipment as possible. The command crew have made all the course adjustments they can to get the ship close to the target. After that, we'll launch all the pods as the ship passes by. With any luck, they will all land safely, and we can finally call this mission a success. There's just one catch. Someone has to stay behind to launch the pods. That person will be stuck on board. One life for many seems like a good deal. Jean will think I'm crazy, but I volunteered to be that person. Funny, Jean's always telling me I need to step up to the challenge more to prove I have what it takes. I'm not sure this is what she had in mind. After weeks of preparation and drills, we're finally getting close. Only a few more days to launch. All adjustments have been made and our trajectory is looking good. I've been getting the engineers to double and triple check everything. I want this to go as smoothly as possible. We've had our teething problems, which I guess were to be expected. After all, this ship wasn't meant to do this without stopping. I'm getting nervous. If this fails... There's another thing. Jean's pregnant. She doesn't know that I know. I found the test in the bathroom. With all that's happening, I guess she doesn't know how to tell me. Maybe she's afraid that it'll affect my judgment. She might have been right about that. I was going to tell her tonight that I'm the one, but I'm not sure if I can anymore. She'll want to stop me, or worse, she'll want to stay behind as well. I can't let that happen.
Pod 12, launch. Pod 13, begin launch procedures. Pod 14, what are you doing? Pod 14, please acknowledge. Come in, do you read me? Abort. I repeat, abort. You were not cleared to... Explosion in Bay 14, emergency. I repeat, this is an emergency. All remaining pods, begin launch.
Tom, where are you? The pilot, he's saying he's going to leave without you. What's happening?
Jean, we've got to go now. This is Chief Engineer Tom Edwards to the pilot of Life Ship 003. This is a direct order. Secure all passengers and launch now.
Tom, the ship's leaving. Where are you?
Jean, sweetheart, you have to listen to me. I'm sorry, it's the only way. I couldn't tell you before. Someone needs to stay on board and make sure everyone gets out of here.
I don't... Why? Why you?
It's my responsibility. Listen to me. You're gonna be okay. Both of you.
How? How did you know?
It's not important. Just know everything is gonna be okay. I love you.
We're out of communication range now. I've been sitting here for hours, listening to the crackle of the dead signal. I thought I was ready for this. I thought I had made peace with it. But knowing that that was the last time I was going to hear her voice makes it so much worse. The captain said they're going to name the first settlement after me. Nice gesture, I guess. But I really didn't do it for them. I did it for her, and the life she's carrying. This was the right thing to do. There's no telling when or if this ship will ever stop. We had our shot, and we took it. I'd gladly do it again. My kid's not gonna grow up in some tin can floating aimlessly in space. They're gonna grow up with dirt between their toes and a sky above their head.